when I'm working, I'm always thinking about the stuff I've learned from Joseph Campbell. I used to study his videos. I still do, actually. I listen to Joseph Campbell videos. I love the way he would find common denominators in all cultures, through all peoples, and finding common needs that all people have. And he found all these stories that people bring down from generation to generation in all cultures that were somehow similar. So I kind of like that idea of applying the hero's journey to my paintings and trying to find a feeling that gives a continuity to having this person who you can identify with, that we can all identify with. This lady, for example, the cowgirl, I call it the American lioness because she's prowling the land, and this is her domain. When I was painting that, I was thinking about paving your own path, of finding in your own journey, finding your dreams. So I think it's something that we can all relate to. Every person in the world can relate to that, even though it's a Western theme. It's a call to action, basically. We're all called to action in the same way. We have these dreams of God, I wish I could do that. Well, why don't you do it then? Why don't we just go for that? And so I think we all come to a certain point in our lives where we're like, okay, we can either stay where we're at, and if you're not happy, then what do we need to do to get there? So that's the kind of paintings that I like to do, and that we can all relate to, like mixing things into my work that are inspirational to me, like that, and making it have a modern vibe, modern contemporary vibe. I don't want to take a 40s painting and copy it. That would be so like redundant and silly thing to do. But I love first of all, the chops those guys had. I love the amazing quality of their artwork. They were such great draftsmen, and their paintings were great. I love that idea. I want to get that into my work, and I worked really hard to become a good draftsman over the years. Becoming great at drawing the human figure. I don't want to copy a photograph. That's never something that I'm interested in doing. I want to, first of all, work from my idea, the concept, and then I got a model. I take photo references, and then I make my own artwork out of that, and I kind of put my own spirit and twist on what I see. I don't want it to look like a photograph ever. I'm always stylizing and mixing 40s stuff with Renaissance stuff. So that's why this lifeguard girl to me is kind of symbolic for my work. She's in this very heroic pose, and it's a pose of Rosie the Riveter. So I kind of like that idea of using that pose, doing it in a modern or contemporary way. Michelangelo and Norman Rockwell are a couple of my big art heroes. So Renaissance and 40s mixed together into like a pot, and mixing it up and coming out with my own style, my own work that I like to do. This girl with the bat, you can maybe consider her a little bit of a bad girl. You ever seen the movie Stand By Me? So there's a scene in that where Kiefer Sutherland's got his cronies, and there are all these guys out. They're just having a good time. They're playing mailbox baseball, But the feeling of it is almost like the TV show Happy Days, like an innocent kind of fun. At the same time, the feeling, I like the contrast of this girl in the 50s dress, the 40s cute polka dot dress, and she's real dainty and pretty, but she's doing something totally in contrast to what she looks like. I think that's the key when you're doing art, is to be honest with ourselves, and to say something that means a lot to you personally, and I think the more that we feel it, the more that somebody else is going to feel it. So all these paintings are basically, even if it's a female, it's still a lot of my own feelings coming out through the paint. So these cowgirls, the ones with the this one trick shot Lucy, she's got the gun, she's like, blowing the smoke off. That actually came about just from, like, a lot of my ideas come about just from like dreams. Actually, I'll have like quick little dreams, or I'll wake up in the middle of the night, I'll have my little post-it pad, and I'll just like do a little quick sketch, and then the next morning I'll wake up and I'll start a sketch. We're talking about inspiration, and I was thinking about a lot of the things that I do with the old videos that I find, and some of them that I found were of my great grandfather, my grandfather. The videos that he would take. I have these old 16 millimeter videos. Before I was even painting, I was watching those videos, and the old footage of videos from Venice Beach, the Muscle Beach, and the idea of looking at these old bikini contests and like the muscle dude on the beach with the lady on his shoulders. And I was also hearing stories from my grandparents. My grandfather, my dad's dad, he had a store on Hollywood Boulevard in the 40s, 50s, and he would talk about the actors, the sailors, the people coming in there to the shop, and even Elvis going in there to buy a suit, and they even talked about what color it was, and my aunt would tell me the story of what he was like. And so all these firsthand accounts of these superstars, in their time before they were even world famous, and just the idea of being in contact with that time period was inspiration to me. So I have a bunch of ideas like that, and I just like the idea of taking these inspirational images that I see on my grandfather's old videos and making them into pop art. My grandfather would always tell me stories of his time in Hawaii and like Pearl Harbor and just in the Navy. So all those things are in my head growing up, and now they're coming out in my artwork, in my paintings. And so by being an animator, also by growing up the way I did with my grandparents and with my parents, and being raised with horses. Also, I was raised with horses on a ranch. Having to brush the horses and feed them, and put them on the hot walker. All those things are in my past. So now they're kind of coming out in my art.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock.
This is my first one-person show in LA, and it's with Maxwell Alexander Gallery. This first show in LA, I feel like I'm just gonna be introducing myself basically on the West Coast. I feel like there's so much more to come in the ideas that I have, and I just want to have a positive influence and a positive vibe with my work, and I want to have a uplifting feeling to have everyone feel that this is the time we live in can be just as beautiful and just as great as the golden era of the 40s. And why not? I want us to ask that question, why not?